Today is a good day for humility. I just experienced learning something from somebody new, or I should say somebody that was younger than me and has less experience than me. And this goes back to what I've talked about before, and I'm going to continue to preach, is no matter who someone is or where they've come from, they're going to know something that you don't, in some way, shape, or form. Unless you've lived 1,000 lives and you just have seen it all and you know it all, somebody's going to know something or look at something in a different way that you haven't thought to look before, and it just kind of changes your perspective on what you thought you knew. What I learned today, and a lot of you guys probably going to be able to speak up and talk about it, I never really thought about it. I always taught with a torch. I was always taught 7 on acetylene, 35 on oxygen. And I always just assumed, if you start getting in bigger, thicker stuff, just crank it up. 10 on acetylene and, 50 or 60 on oxygen if you're going to try cutting like 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch stuff. That's just kind of how I've always done it. Obviously, you go up to a larger tip as well, or, thinner stuff, you go down smaller. But I just assumed in coordination with the different tips, you needed to change your pressures. Well, I was talking to another welder about it after I'd kind of been proven wrong. I watched a guy cut 1-inch plate, excellent cuts, on 4 with acetylene and 40 with oxygen. Had a number 2 tip. They were great cuts, very smooth cuts. So I was sitting there scratching my head. I was like, man, that doesn't make much sense. I would have upped it. And after we both kind of got talking about it, it's like, there's something that isn't really talked about a lot, is everyone just talks about the pressure of your acetylene and your oxygen, but no one actually talks about the volume, the CFM. Just because you crank up your pressure doesn't mean it's going to be any more or any less CFM if you're restricted by your tip. So if you have a 1 tip on, or even an aught, and you just try cranking up your PSI on your acetylene, you're still not going to be able to cut that great. It's all about the volume. So if you get a larger tip, it allows for more volume of gas to come out. That was something I've never really thought about, honestly. I just kind of went along doing what I did. So for those of you that are much more experienced, I'm sure, in even torch welding or cutting, what do you got on that? Throw out some of your ideas. I'm kind of curious. I never really thought about it. I just learned it, thought I knew what I knew, and I just went on. I never really questioned what I was told. And I'm actually going to throw up a chart here right after this video, and you guys can kind of see it lays it out in a way I never really thought. It's not about turning up the PSI. It's making sure you got the right tip and getting the proper amount of volume. You still got to have your PSI right, but it's more so about the volume of gas you're getting and oxygen to actually push that molten metal out of the way. So, lesson learned. You may not know what you think you know. Something new. Maybe somebody knows something about what you assume you already know, but they know a different way or a better way. If you keep that attitude, always try to learn from somebody, and no matter where they came from, learn something from you, you learn something from them, it's just going to make you better. Don't assume you know everything, because all that's going to do is just hurt you. Because when you have that attitude that you know everything, people are going to quit teaching you what they know. And you're just going to be kind of boxed off from the world. As it continues to grow and learn, it'll walk right on by you, and you'll be off in your little box of what you think you know. All right, that's the thought for today, guys. You have a good one.